Hello, YouTubers. How you doing? All right. Let's explore the subject. Will the rapture happen at the end of December? Well, blessed hope at the end of the equinox, right around the end of December. It has possibilities. You see, what a lot of people, watchers, have to understand is we can't prove any of this prior to the rapture, but we can explore the subject. Um, this is when Lazarus was raised from the dead, um, and that's to be actually when Jesus said, "Lazarus, come forth." That sounds like the rapture. Will the rapture happen at the end of December? I don't know. Three Eye Atlas. It's closest to the Earth, and it's becoming a lot more mainstream. So the whole UFO argument, like who took these people in the rapture. So that has possibilities. Um, and somehow there are a lot of 77 years and 7 months and 7 days right around that whole December 20th, 21st, 22nd area. So I've been given some practical application uh, presentations. I found them to be very helpful. For example, the first one was my personal favorite, how to get the peace of God. But I explored a lot of others too. Um, like what happens if we're abandoned in life, or carnality, or what do we do when we're tempted? Some people liked it and some people didn't. There's some pretty staunch watchers out there, and they're very intense, on watching for Jesus. And practical application really doesn't fit their prism or their paradigm. But remember this, that there's primary interpretation, practical application, and prophetic implication. Now, this presentation is prophetic implication. So, uh, Matthew 24, the tribulation starting in the winter. Well, I'm not so sure about that. A lot of people say, that verse uh, where the Jewish people are running for their life, and they're trying to apply that maybe to the start of the 7 year tribulation. That's going around the internet right now a lot. So I'd be a little weary of that. Um, I got very sick again. This year in 2025, friends, it's the longest year that I ever had to go through. First, I had a huge tree hit my house, and then other things happened to my home, and I fell into a lot of sicknesses. You're hearing my voice right now, but the most recent sickness I had, I couldn't talk. I mean, I was pretty much like, okay, Lord, just help me get through this. Uh, so, yeah, a lot of people were pointing to December 21st. Um, but I say it could happen then, but it could just as easily happen in the spring, too. Sometime in the spring. Um, a lot of people are saying that the rapture could happen on the great eighth day of Hanukkah. Possibility. Um, so I had a friend. He's not per se a friend anymore. Uh, I was working with him. I haven't seen him in years. But he told me that he had an open vision, and he saw himself going up in spring clouds. So I always like to stay open. And then again, there's this real popular YouTuber that I would rank incredibly credible when it comes to end time Bible prophecy. I don't like to mention names, but he had an open vision of the rapture right around Christmas. So, I don't really know. Uh, Jesus celebrated Hanukkah too. That it gets Hanukkah sort of, for the most part, was introduced in the New Testament. Um, it had shadows in the Old Testament, but it's more of a New Testament thing. Oh yeah, and during Hanukkah, Jesus said that real popular verse, "No man can pluck them out of my hand," and oh, I think it was John chapter 10, verses 27 to 30. And the word pluck is harpazo in the Greek. That harpazo means rapture. Maybe that was a clue. Um, is the door Jesus was referring to in John chapter 10 during Hanukkah the same door in Revelation chapter 4, verses 1 to 2? There is a correlation, but is that what it means, the rapture? I don't know. A lot of people were talking about the fourth day of Hanukkah, and that was the actual day that Jesus called Lazarus out of the grave. And that's the Dalet, or the door. Um, and that's mentioned also in Revelation 4, 1 to 2. So Hanukkah is over a series of days. Um, Now, a couple of secular people did take pictures of Three Eye Atlas, and they're not connected with NASA. And they said something is very different about this. Three Eye Atlas seemed to be collecting samples, according to one guy. Okay. Um, about Hanukkah too. Haggai also mentions Hanukkah, and that God will shake the earth. So we're just going to have to wait and see if that could be a prelude to the rapture. I would just be ready at any moment. Um, okay. Um, this is not going to be a long video. Like I said, I was given some practical application presentations, and I gotta say that's much harder for me to do because, see, I know the subject of prophecy really well, but I wanted to explore those practical application presentations. I'll just go on my channel and you'll see a bunch of them. I like to continue too, but I want to explore prophecy too. And I guess I'm getting the impression that a lot of people thought that I had left prophecy. No, I just have to feel led to talk about it, you know. But I think both are very important. Um, I like exploring subjects. I just do. That's just me. But, I noticed that Trump, he's promoting this digital dollar in every other nation except our country over here in the U.S. It's really being promoted hard. Oh my goodness! I mean, over there in Vietnam, they seized 86 million bank accounts, and they said, "Tell you what, if you get the digital currency, we'll give you back your money." And over there in Thailand, a lot of people are walking around with biometric technology inside of them. And I kind of liked what the NATO president said. He said that we need a war, so we need to prepare like our grandfathers prepared. Well, he's obviously talking about World War III. So, friend, I don't know when the rapture is, okay? I've been looking at this subject for over 40 years. And if I'm saying, well, it could be December, but maybe this thing will be extended to the spring, I don't think it will be after May 14th of 2026. I will come out and say that. But if I'm even a little confused about it, then there's something to this. Um, so as for me, I'm going to be ready at any moment. I'd urge you to be ready at any moment too. But I can assure you of this, that Jesus is coming very, very, very soon. So don't get too comfortable with this world. Okay? God bless and keep looking up, okay?